And the duck is live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Keyforge Duck. If you're finding this channel for the very first time, hello, welcome. Bit of context on me. I am a Keyforge player in the UK. I've played Keyforge since the start. I got into it after it was first announced. Was it a Gen Con, I think it was. And I started following it online. I was one of the early players on the Crucible online as well. And then, obviously, since then, we've got to the stage where, we had all the expansions come out. I did sort of stop playing Around the Worlds Collide for a period of time. I went to the Vault Tour in 2019, where Age of Ascension launched. And I really enjoyed the game. I like the fact that that's the deck you play with. You haven't got the battling to try and find cards like you have in the other card games, which I'm not a big fan of. So that's what appealed me to Keyforge. And this is a new little venture I want to go on. So just a couple of things. Obviously, if you don't mind subscribing to the channel, if you are a fan of Keyforge and you like Keyforge content, I'd be massively appreciated. The plan is to bring some live streams from the Crucible Online, playing the decks that I own, also playing in some tournaments and some leagues that I'm looking to join. Also, any decks that we get, we will do deck openings here on the channel. So we will save them up and we'll do some deck openings, which is the point of today's video. We have 4 decks to open. So hopefully, if I've set this all up right, this should now go over. Yes, it does. Brilliant. So as you guys can see, we've got 3 Age of Ascension decks and a Worlds Collide deck. These are what I've recently purchased. My local game store, might I add. I have purchased them from my local game store. They were on a sale. I think, unfortunately, like most places nowadays, they are not going to be actively supporting Keyforge at the moment until we can get back into stores, get the communities back up and running. Because I think we have lost a lot of the community of Keyforge, which is a shame, but also it's to be expected. This pandemic has really, really hurt the game, so that side of it's a massive shame for us. So all I'm going to do today is some deck opening. I'm going to open the Age of Ascension and leave the Worlds Collide one to the end. I've actually never brought a Deluxe Archon pack before, so I'm interested to see what's in the Deluxe Archon pack. Obviously, a lot of people who've played Keyforge will have probably had one of these in the past, but I haven't. So that's going to be the last today. So we're going to do these, and then what we're going to do is we're going to open them, have a look at the cards. I'm then going to go on to the decksofkeyforge.com website and put it in on there. And once I've put it in on there, we can have a look as well to see what the SAS rating is of the deck. And I think that's still one of the big things. When I was with Keyforge the first sort of time round, the SAS was just sort of coming through. I'm a little bit on the fence, I won't lie to you, about whether to get hyped about what my SAS rating on my deck is. But I know a lot of people really clamor for them. So it'd be great if we can open a deck here that's maybe an 80 plus rated deck. I think the highest rating SAS deck I have at the moment is a 75, is it? It's a 75 deck. Over the Convoluted. And I'll show that in a bit as well. But let's get into what the bulk of this video is going to be, the opening of these decks. So we'll do that one first. So let's move the 2 out of the way. Obviously, this is live, so things might go wrong. I'm not a big fan of video editing, so I just tend to do it on the fly. So that's what this is all about. So, Age of Ascension Keyforge. Let's get into it. Oh, it's no greater sound, is there? Okay, so it's that way around. Let's see what we got. And we have got... Okay, that's interesting. We've got Sanctum, Dis and Untamed. I do often seem to get Dis decks. That is very, very common for me. I think when I was playing the first time round, I had about 8 Dis decks. So let's just put it in on the system, see what we get. This is live. This is what you're liking. This is what you come here for. If I put that in right. No, that's an invalid deck code, sure. Yeah. Guys, let me know, obviously, in your comments, you know, are you still playing Keyforge? Is there still the excitement of the game for you? Are you like most places at the moment that you've not been able to get out and play Keyforge, so you've kind of lost the desire to play the game, I suppose, is one way of putting it. I think me personally, I didn't lose the desire to play the game. But what I did was I lost the momentum of playing Keyforge. I think that was my problem. I do also think they brought a lot of expansions out at the same time. Keep telling me it's an invalid deck code, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. There we go. It's finally gone in. So, Quick of Handofort is the deck. So there he is. So, Quick of Handofort. As I say, we're Sanctum, Untamed, and Dis. Let's see what the rating is. So if we go here, I'm probably not doing this in the order you want me to do it, really, am I? So let's just look at the cards. Let's look at the cards. So I'm in there. Yeah. So Witch of the Wilds, Soldiers to Flowers, Pampaki Yaga, Nature's Call, Fog Bank, Camouflage, They're Everywhere, Song of Spring, 2 Song of Springs, Save the Pack, Full Moon, Dahana. So they are the Untamed cards. Okay, so let's move into Sanctum. Vemus Lightbringer, Lord Golgotha, Radiant Truth, Potion of Invulnerability. Try to say that one wrong. Doorstep to Heaven, 2 Doorstep to Heavens. Take Hostages, the Shield of Justice, Healing Blast, Golden Aura, Borden the Redeemed, and Blinding Light. Okay, so some interesting Sanctum cards there. Let's put that there. And in this, we are working with Old Yerk, 2 Old Yerks, a Life Ward, Library of the Damned, Hysteria, Gongoozle, 2 Gongoozles, an Unlocked Gateway, Tesmal, 2 Tesmals, Misery Exploit, and a Dust Imp. So that's not a bad deck, to be fair. That just the names there for me, that sounds like one that I would like. Now on here, I don't quite remember how I put decks in on the Decks of Keyforge website. So I'm just trying to refigure myself out of that now. Oh, import deck. There we go. That's what I want. Decks, import deck. There we go. It's been that long since I've used this website. Put to my decks. And Quick of Hando Fort is a 72 SAS rated deck. So 72. Okay. With this deck, we got 11 creatures, 21 actions, 3 artifacts, and 1 upgrade. So yeah, it's not looking too bad of a deck. There are 18 amber bonus shards, so we can generate a good amount of amber with the bonus shards, I suppose. Seems to be claimed as a quick enough deck, so we'll have to just wait and see with that, won't we? But that is Quick of Handfort. That's our first deck today. Okay, so next one. Let's get the next deck in. Just having another look at that, to be fair. The Quick of Hando Fort deck. Yeah, it's very, very heavy on the actions front there. So, I'm really going to have to probably, there's a couple of board wipes in there. So I think I'm going to be looking to focus sort of around that way of working with that deck. Okay, let's get into the second deck. And the second deck. All right, okay. So the second deck, we are Zin of Bukwitch Gardens. And it's another Dis deck, Logos and Brobnar. So another Dis deck for me. I really, really love my Dis decks. Yeah, I seem to be claiming Dis decks everywhere I go at the moment. They are a very strong house. When I first started playing, that was the house I wanted in my first ever deck. So, okay, so yes, Zin of Bukwitch Gardens. So let's go and view the deck profile. I swear as well, they are making these harder to get in. I mean, there is no little red. The red band's useless because there is no end to it. There is genuinely not a point to this red band where I can rip it open. I'm in. I'm in, folks. Don't worry. I'm in. So as I say, that's where we're at. Let's have a look on the decks of Keyforge. So let's import a deck. Boom. Order my decks. Okay, so while that's important, let's have a look at what we've got in here. Let's go through the cards. And we have, starting with Logos, Replicator, the Rocket Boots, Research Smoko, 2 of that. Interdimensional Graft, gotta get there in the end. Bouncing Deathquark, Titan Mechanic, 2 of them. Titan Librarian, Professor Sutterkin, Binate Rapture, 2 of them. Okay, I'm not overly excited by the Logos cards. Okay. Okay, starting off with Kita Dis, Gold Key Imp, Tesmal, a Gub, 2 Gubs, an Exhume, 2 Exhumes. Okay, I like that. That helped me on my when I was at the Book Tour. 2 Call the Weeks, 2 Binding Irons, and an Ember Imp. Okay, I'm more excited about the discards there, without a doubt. Yeah, I'm excited about the discards. Okay, let's have a look at what Brobnar's offering us. The Flex, Relentless Assault, Flamewake Shaman, Burn the Stockpile, Lull at the Titanic, Into the Fray, Grok, Groggins, 2 Groggins, the Drummernaut, Cowfine, and 1-2 Punch. Okay, so again, another interesting deck. Zen of Bukwitch Gardens. According to Decks of Keyforge, this is offering us a 64 SAS rated deck. We've got 19 creatures, so we're creature heavy. 1 artifact, 1 upgrade, 15 actions. So again, we're going to be heavy on creatures with this deck. We only generate 6 Ember, which is not going to be great with the Ember bonuses. So we're really going to have to probably strive to generate Ember in this deck. That's going to make that move interesting. But yeah, not a bad deck. I'm not as excited about this deck as I was the other one. So we'll see how they play out. We'll play all these eventually on the Crucible Online. I may do a playthrough video of me playing these online. So, boom! Next one in. Obviously, at the moment as well, guys, those who probably already know, the Age of Ascension decks have been on offer at a lot of local game stores. As I said at the start of this video, a lot of local game stores are sort of getting away from Keyforge because I think the communities have broken up a little bit. We've broken up, obviously, because we've got nowhere to play. I can't really comment too much because I left the community and I've come back to the community now. And I'm now keen as mustard to play a little bit more. I think the online community on the TCO is really good, really strong. And I think we'll only, once we can get back out there, I think the game can rise. We've got Dark Tidings coming out in a month. We've pre-ordered a lot of Dark Tidings stuff, and we're going to do some really good videos on Dark Tidings here on Keyforge Duck. So let's get into this one. If we have Dis again, that'll be 3 Dis decks in a row. with this again. Okay, with Shadows, Dis, and Sanctum. Dionysia, X-Ray Specs, Deft Phantom. My word. What are the chances of opening 3 Age of Ascension decks and each one containing Dis? I can't believe that. Okay, so let's just get this into the system. This must be the worst part of the video for you guys. Just see my arm go across the screen like that. Okay, so Dionysia, X-Ray Specs, Deft Phantom. An interesting deck name for sure. Okay, and once again, we are Shadows, Dis, and Sanctum. So there is 3 decks now that we've opened, and 3 Dis decks. Okay, so let me just import this into my decks just to see what she comes in with. Right, here we go. So we're starting with Shadows. And we're going with the Sting. Perplexing Sophisticity. Little Nif. Yancy Gang. 2 of them. Swindle. Sucker Punch. Ronnie Wristclocks. Life for a Life. 2 of them. Knuckles Bolton. 2 of them. Okay, so interesting Shadows cards. Some that I'm interested there with. Okay, moving into Sanctum, which I have to be honest as well, not my favourite house. Proclamation 34-6E. Mother Northella. Anatai the Trader. The Harder They Come. Barrister Joy. Smite. 2 of them. Samaros. Shall the Safeguard. 2 of them. Board of the Redeemed. Albaid the Grim. Okay, so some interesting cards there in Sanctum. As I say, I'm not a massive Sanctum player and fan, but certainly things there to play with. Into the disc, because we just opened packs with discs here. I might just rename the channel that decks with discs. So we've got a fair game. Poltergeist, Gold Key Imp, not finished with you, 2 of them, 3 of them. Okay, that's good. Exhume, Call the Weak, Shurat, which I think is one of my favourite cards. Ember Imp, 3 of them. Okay. Another interesting deck. The Dinosaur X-Ray Specs Death Phantom. And according to the decks of Keyforge, that is a 65 SAS deck. We've got 19 creatures, 15 actions, no upgrades with 2 artifacts, and we generate 11 Ember. So that's going to be an interesting deck to play. I'm not just looking at the cards. I mean, the fact that they're not finished with you, 3 of them. So we're gaining 3 Ember with that. Action ability: shuffle any number of creatures from your discard pile into your deck. So we're going to be able to get creatures, any number of creatures from your discard pile into your deck. So we're going to be able to get some creatures back into the deck and gain Ember by doing it, which is not going to be too bad. A route of doing that, I think. Some of the Shadows cards. So with that, if we playing Shadows, Life for Life, we've got 2 of them. So again, we generate an Ember. Sacrifice a creature to deal 6 damage to a creature, and obviously we can bring them back. We're not finished with you yet. So that could be interesting. That could be interesting. Okay. So another disc deck. All right. So that's the 3 Age of Ascension decks that we've opened, that I had. And now, big boy, a Worlds Collide Deluxe Archon deck. Now, as I said at the start of the video, I've never had a Deluxe Archon deck before. So this is the first time for me that I've purchased a Deluxe Archon deck. Again, it was on sale. The local game store for me was doing a deal on the Age of Ascension decks, and they reduced this one. So I took advantage of the whole deal. I had them all off him. So yeah, let's see what this is about. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a look. Okay. So I know that you get the tokens. Okay. So again, I have my own. I think it's acrylic based tokens. I did have some of them done. They were by a shop on Etsy back in 2019. But it doesn't hurt to have extra tokens. So that's that. They'll come in good. They'll come in good. So I've never actually opened one of these, so I presume that that's a rule book. Yeah, rule book. I used to print off just like a cheat card. When I did it, when I went to the Vault Tour, I printed off a cheat card which had just got the actual wordings on, like just to help me out. Okay, and then I'm presuming the last thing in there is the deck. And do we have discs? Do we have discs? We don't have discs. We have managed to locate a deck without discs. We have Brobnar, Saurian, and Untamed. Mil N Dromitor. Mil N Dromitor. So let's see what you were offering me, Mil N Dromitor. So let's go to my decks again. So let me know in the comments as well if you are still playing Keyforge, if your local store is still supporting it. Are you nipping online a bit more to? Sorry about this. I'm really struggling to get this one open. Are you going online more to purchase decks? Is that where you're doing the bulk of your purchasing? Have you, the same as me, taken advantage of offers that have been on for decks just to get hold of some new cards, new decks? So let me know in the comments. Also, a good time to tell you if you want to follow me on Twitter. I'd love for you to come and do so. You can find me. I am Keyforge Duck. So there we go. We have discovered Mill and Durometer. Okay, so let's just import him into my collection. So there we go, Mill and Durometer. So we are going to be kicking in with the Untamed cards. Eldest Bear, Mab the Mad, Fangtooth Cavern, Unnatural Selection, Ruskanawa, Regrowth, Mustic Murmuk, Molifin, Key Charge. I remember with Key Charge, the first when I went to the first ever release event for Keyforge, which was at a place in Derby I went called Boards and Swords. I played that wrong, and the guy opposite me, we didn't know. We were both like, "Is that right?" I don't think he's right. And it was one of them conversations we had, but because I lose one if you may forge key at current cost. And we don't know how now, but we played it wrong, so that's just an interesting story, which is probably not worth knowing. Harmony, Deep with Druid, Cauldron Boil. Okay, some interesting cards there. Some I've not come across myself just yet. Okay, the Saurian. Now I have one deck I think already with these guys in, and I do struggle to play them. So I want to learn more about them. So, Falophosaurus Gargantuan, nice 16 power there, might I add. Enters play stunned, only deals 4 damage when fighting. Each ember that will be stolen is captured by a creature controlled by the active player instead. Okay, that's interesting. Draco Paraco, Retagallum, Questajata, Pharnax Strike, Odok the Perdition, Legatus Raptor, 2 of that, Imperial Scuttum, Imperial Scuttum, Chant of Herbis, Brutodon Auxiliary. Okay, so some cards there that I've certainly not seen before come across. Okay, into Brob, Eigen the Terrible, Eigen the Green, Saltkill, Shorty, Narp, Mog Hunter, 2 Mog Hunters, Irestaff, Cowfine, 2 of that, and 2 Berserker Slams. Okay, so interesting cards there in Brob. Returning back over to our friends at Decks of Keyforge, the Mill and Durometer deck is a 63 SAS rated deck. 25 creatures, 8 actions, 2 artifacts, 1 upgrade. So a heavy creature deck here. Very heavy. And the cards generate 11 Ember. So, there, but we've got a really strong board with the amount of creatures we've got in this deck. So that's going to be a heavy one to play, I think. It's going to be what you're going to have to really get them creatures out on the table and let them do some work, especially with the double hits we're going to have coming in. Eigon the Terrible is one I like the looks of there. So if Eigon the Terrible, if Eigon the Green has not been purged, destroy Eigon the Terrible. And when he fights, he steals one. So if Eigon the Green has not been purged, so Eigon the Green, when he is destroyed, purge Eigon the Green, return an Eigon the Terrible from your discard pile to your hand. So yeah, obviously the 2 Eigons there work in sync with each other. That's going to be an interesting one. Okay, we'll see how that one plays out. And that is my Worlds Collide deck, which is Mill N Durometer. So massive thanks for joining me on this deck opening. Let me just flip back to my picture there. Yeah, really appreciate everyone who's dropped by this video for this deck opening on Keyforge. Look out for videos that I'm going to be doing soon where I'm going to be playing these decks live on the Crucible Online against people. I also am going to be streaming me playing in some League and some events that are coming up. There's a couple of sealed events that I'm going to be paying to enter as well. And hopefully, if I can and they allow it, I'm going to stream them events here on YouTube. So if you've watched, thanks very much. Press the like button; it'd be really appreciated. Hit the subscribe as well, the thumbs up, and hit the subscribe. Click that notification bell to get notified of when when Keyforge Duck goes live again. And I hope to see you all on the next video. Thanks for watching.